What are the two gotchas of making banana bread? The first one is that your eggs have to be room temperature. So when your bananas get to this point and you say to yourself, wow, I should make some banana bread, pull out 2 eggs and a stick of butter, much like I did this morning, and then come back in the afternoon. They'll be ready to go. The second gotcha is the walnuts. You're gonna roast these walnuts, and everybody burns the walnuts when you roast them. So I will show you how to avoid burning them. Actually, the best way to avoid burning them is just not roast them at all, just throw them in your banana bread. But there's another way too. Let's go over it. Step 1, roughly chop them. Unless you went to somewhere fancy and bought a package of pre-chopped ones, but if you're that fancy, you probably have a private chef to cook it for you anyway. For the rest of us, you gotta chop them up into smaller pieces. Okay, see this toaster oven behind me? Get the tray out of it. Put the walnuts on the tray. And you're gonna toast these. You're gonna put them in, and you're gonna toast them as if you're toasting a slice of bread, and you're gonna put it at the absolute lowest setting. So I'm going to say toast 1 to 2 slices, toast shade 1, the absolute lowest setting. Still gonna cook them for 2.5 minutes. And what's gonna happen is that they're not gonna burn. They're not gonna get super toasty either, but if someone asks you, hey, did you toast those walnuts? You'll say, yes, I did. And they'll be like, yeah, I can tell they taste good. Okay, I have a big bowl. And in this big bowl, I'm going to put 1.25 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I put them both in the same bowl for convenience, and I don't have a whole lot of bowls. And I'm gonna sift it just because I can. There's no reason to really sift the flour, but I like to sift the baking soda so there's no lumps, so you don't get a big mouthful of baking soda in one of the bites. And since I'm sifting stuff, why not sift the flour? Okay, throw that in there. All right, very good. All right, the walnuts are done. Not burned, but the pan is still super hot. And they've been roasted. I mean, they smell good. Now I've already made one mistake on this adventure. I should have put the flour in the smaller bowl. So the flour, salt, and the baking soda are in a smaller bowl. Because in the big bowl, we throw in our butter. And a cup of sugar. But this isn't a cup of sugar, this is 3/4 cup of sugar, because look how much 3/4 cup is. Do we really need a whole cup of sugar? No. The recipe calls for a cup, so if you want to put a cup in, that's cool. Now I'm going to save this wrapper and I'll show you why in a minute. First, I got to blend it up, and I don't have my blender. You might say to yourself, Tom, where's that stand mixer that you have that I've seen in your other videos, because I like and subscribe. I'm just going to use this. I don't want to flex too hard. I don't want to flex my stand mixer privilege on you all. So you just have the butter and you have the sugar, and you beat it until it's light and fluffy. I don't think I explained the room temperature egg thing. So the reason your eggs have to be at room temperature is because you have this bowl of butter and sugar, right? And if you put cold eggs into your butter, then you're going to like freeze the butter up. You're going to cool it all down. Like butter might curdle, and it's not going to be the end of the world, but it's not super attractive and it affects the texture. So just have room temperature eggs and avoid all those problems. So you got 2 eggs and vanilla, a teaspoon of vanilla, because have you ever baked anything and not put a teaspoon of vanilla in? Clearly, Big Vanilla is behind this. But Those are the rules. So take your egg mixture, dump it in your sugar and butter, and blend it up some more. Okay, so now we've thrown the eggs in the eggs and vanilla into the butter and sugar, and now we're going to put our 3 very ripe bananas. Oops, except for the one I threw on the floor. That's how ripe it is. Obviously, the riper the better because it'll mush better. That's fun. Yeah, these are ready to go. All right, that's fun. Let's grind. I'll blend them up, and it's fun to watch the bananas get blended, so I'll change the camera angle. Now we're going to take the flour, the salt and baking soda mix that we have here, and fold it in. So you pour it in rather than blending it up with a blender. You just incorporate it. You don't mix it up crazy. You just kind of fold it in nicely and gently until you don't see any more flour. So you want to completely mix it up, but you don't want to like beat the snot out of it. Also, I've been preheating my toaster oven because I'm going to cook it in this little thing. So why heat up a whole oven to cook this little thing? So the recipe says cook it at 350, but I put it at 300 on convection because it's a smaller space. Seems to work. Okay, and this is actually the third gotcha. I should have forgot to include this. The third gotcha is you're like, I'm done, I'm ready to put it in the oven, right? No, you forgot the walnuts. I don't know how many times I've forgotten the walnuts. Probably about 3. If you do forget to put the walnuts in, then you get a bowl of ice cream and you put the walnuts on top of that. Now remember I said save this wrapper? I'll show you what. Because you want to butter the pan. So grab your butter that you have sitting out. We're the kind of family that has butter out at room temperature. There's 2 types of families in the world. Those that leave butter out and those that don't. And we do. So anyway, now you can spread it around. My wife taught me this trick. She said she learned it from Martha Stewart, I think. Anyway, irregardlessly, it's our trick now. Okay, all buttered up. Simply transfer this batter in. There's no rising, there's no resting, there's no anything. Banana bread is really easy. There's really no reason not to make it. That's it. Throw it in for an hour. If I was really good at this, I'd like turn it around at 30 minutes. I don't know if I'll remember to do that or not. All right, so I will clean the kitchen and I'll show you the results in an hour. Okay, it's been an hour. It looks done, but let's give it the test, which is sticking it with a knife and seeing if there's any goo, and there's not, so I reckon it's done. So let's see if it releases from the pan. I need another glove or something. No luck. You get your spatula, you go around the edges and you go deep inside. Push your spatula in to get a little bit underneath. And then, boop. Boop. All right, we'll let that cool down and then we'll taste test it. All right, time for a taste test. If this video takes off, I'm going to hire an official food plater to help with the presentation, but until then, delicious, of course. I think what really makes it delicious are the bananas and the sugar and the butter.